family, it's Kiahonfire and welcome back to Conan Exiles. Today we are having a look at the dev stream and some of the things they mentioned in this one that could be interesting to you. We're going to first cover the more kind of Exiled Lands and Scepter kind of content, the whole game content that's coming in this patch. And then I'm going to cover the more Scepter-y stuff, so if you didn't want the spoilers or anything, then don't watch the end of the video. But we got a bunch of things to cover today, all sorts, lots and lots. There's changes to swimming, climbing, dodging, and even a really special hotbar change that I'm absolutely psyched for, actually, I'm not gonna lie, because this has been due for a very long time. But first of all, I'm definitely going to tell you something very important, that the transfers for servers are absolutely delayed. And they're also currently absolutely through the menu, so you're not going through any boats or anything. It's transfer. It's a menu transfer, so you pretty much bring up escape and there's the button for it. So there will be that, but apparently this kind of the server transfers that we were hoping that were going to come in 2.4 since they were spoiled for it are delayed. So they could come later or they might come in the next one, but they will definitely not come in 2.4. Also, something with the climbing is it has been changed also. Now, I might have briefly covered this in the last one, but pretty much you can climb up things and the animation has changed. Now, in the last video, I said it feels like they've made this slower, but in this video, in the dev stream, they confirmed it is indeed not slower. It just might look slow. It's the exact same speed, so that's nice. You've got a different kind of climbing animation here as you climb now. And that's not the only kind of thing that's changed in that way. As for basics, swimming as well has also changed a bit as well. Let's see if I can plop myself back in the water. So now as you swim, you should start to lose stamina as you usually would as you're swimming along. As you can see, my stamina is ticking down. But now when you absolutely run out of stamina, you'll actually gain it back in the water just by sitting in it, which is also very nice. You can also, if I remember right, you can attack in the water as well, which is very handy. So now you're not safe in the water. Someone can come after you in the water and come and attack you. And then you'll have that as a problem. And as you can see, I've redone my stamina now. I'm totally fine in the water, so you can have water combat. You can't seem to use a bow, I'm seeing, or certain weapons in the water, so do be careful about that. From what I'm seeing, it's mostly one-handed weapons, which makes a lot of sense. And swimming isn't the only thing, it's also rolling as well. Now, there's been a lot of controversy about rolling. People prefer the old dodge, people prefer the new one. But now it's been changed once more. Dodging goes the extra mile, apparently, in this version. You apparently go 20% further than before when you dodge. So you would perhaps end up just over here before. Now you go a lot further, so it's a lot snappier, maybe like the previous one. Also about this dodge as well is that the armor doesn't really have an effect to this anymore. It is now going to be based off of encumbrance, which of course could actually, it can attribute with armor as well, because of course heavy armor of course is going to weigh much more than light armor, so you still have that, but the more you weigh is apparently the slower you roll. So if you weigh less, then you roll quick. If you weigh more, then you roll slowly. So you could give this a go and see how it goes. But it's all based off of encumbrance now, and the roll has been improved much so. I do absolutely enjoy rolling a little bit further. It feels a lot like the old dodge and makes it like you're not being punished so much when you want to wear heavy or medium or a different kind of armor to go around with. Now there's also something that really caught my eye that is really important as well, that I'm so psyched for. I felt like this should have come in a very long time ago, but it just hasn't been a thing, and I've probably spent seasons and seasons being like, I really wish this was a feature, I wish there was a mod for it, I wish it was a thing. Well, basically, it's Hotbar Saving. You know, where you have all of your stuff. You see, I got a nice shovel here, a bow, a warhammer, a piece of meat, some tea, aloe, and arrows. Apparently now, when I die, I can go pick it up again, and it's going to go put itself back in my hotbar, which is thank you. Oh my goodness. This is something we needed for such a long time. And I am absolutely psyched for it. Another thing in this patch is apparently they've changed mounted combat. So before, when you hit something like this King Elk, this is supposed to do bleed, right? You can see my axes lighting up to be able to do it. Well, they removed this status effects from the weapons when you go about. So well, now in mounted combat, you have a nerf in that way, so you can't do like immediate bleed to them or immediate sunder or whatever with that. Unless I found a little bit of a loophole here, unless you have a weapon that actually has the effect of bleed. So Axe of the Grey ones, for example, I don't know if it's an intentional thing. I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to be a thing, but it still does bleed. So there you go. There is one that is a loophole around this if you wanted status effects still on mounted combat. I'm pretty sure it's going to get fixed once they know about it, or maybe it won't. I don't know. But that's not the only thing about mounted combat as well. I don't know why I said that so weirdly. Damage has been nerfed, so it's no more 2x. It's now 1.2, so that is a 0.8 nerf right there if I'm going statistically here. So it should be still a very valid way of taking down things in PvE and PvP, but it won't be so focused on anymore like it was in the past. So no more will someone, hopefully the idea is no more, so someone won't be going up on you like this and like 2-shotting you or 1-shotting you on a horse. It should take a little bit more now, or perhaps there might be better ways of going about PvPing now since this patch. But that is definitely a big change to the mounted combat that's happened here, and yeah, that's a good thing actually, because I know that's been very prevalent. They're also reviewing the healing potions, so those could change as well. Timings, etc., where you have them, animation cancelling, something that could be changed, but that's still in the works. Thought I'd mention it because it's an interesting point I saw on the stream, and I always think, you know, if they've mentioned it and you've kind of skipped past it, you didn't want to watch those hours of the stream, and perhaps you just want a quick recap, well, that's why I'm here, to give you a quick recap. They also did a mention as well about two-handed weapons could have a buff in the future when the animation cancelling is fixed. So you could be looking at those two-handed swords again and being going like, those hit hard, and the hammers and all of that, you know, everything with the two-handed war axe, even two-handed war axe could be a lot harder hitting in the future. Perhaps we will see how that one goes, because that could be a bit. You definitely got to balance that one out, right? Because that could be a bit, ooh, you know, you don't want to overdo that one. There's a very fine line there. Especially when they're on the frills. Just a little bit of a pick here. It's really annoying when you have a two-handed weapon on a frill, and when they get back up after you've knocked them down, they seem to just slide towards you, and that's totally unnatural, and then they just, like, cake your ankles out, and it's just, oh my goodness. Is rough. Not enjoyable on the AI at all, two-handed weapons, so having a damage buff on that one could be pretty nasty. I'm really hoping they perhaps fix that kind of animation going about on thralls perhaps in the future before they kind of buff the damage, because that could be pretty crazy. And I think that's most of the stuff I wanted to kind of cover on the main game as a whole, so that's Isle of Siptah and Exiled Lands. Now I'm going to briefly go over some of the Siptah stuff, because they did actually talk a little bit more about that one as well. Because, yep, there's been some changes, there's been some name changes, island changes. As I was saying before in the last video, you have 2 new areas. They've actually updated it on the map now, so you can actually see it on the map, because in the previous versions it was not on the map, so they've updated the artwork. You've got 3 areas, although this is kind of 2. Kind of too, not gonna lie. The second bit's kind of just like an interfade, I suppose, but it's more kind of Savannah style. But apparently this is not the Savannah anymore, which I'm probably still gonna call it the Savannah because it just rolls off the tongue a lot easier. But it's apparently the Isle of Dawn, and then this part over here is the Isle of Dusk, so it's all dark and miserable, and this is all sunny and bright and amazing. And I'm not gonna lie, I do like the Floodlands though, because they have a really nice music track here, and that's probably the biggest reason I like it. It's nice though. You can build on some really big pillars and they are proper nice looking. So pretty much what they were going on about is Isle of Siptah had some lighting revamps, so it's a little bit different. Apparently it should be a lot less worse on the eyes, because before you get some really bad contrast, and it was really annoying kind of contrast, because things would just be weird looking in some places. Apparently they've made it a lot better now, so it should be less harsh on the eyes, a little bit better on the video recording as well, as an end result. But we're definitely see with that one. And yeah, and then they went over some of the places, so like the Black One's pools, pretty much over there. You know, the boss summoning, all of that stuff. They went over the new factions. I have covered this in another video. Definitely do check it out for more detail. And then, of course, you got the... it's not called the Ashlands anymore. Which I pointed out last time. That's Valheim. No. It's, was it? The Island of Dusk is now the name. So I'm definitely going to have to correct myself on that one. But there is a very dark place. It could be a place to hide a base, I guess, if you didn't really want to be seen. But it's a very dark place with dark things. It's got Unga Bunga people in it. The First Men, I believe they're called. But I'm definitely going to just call them Unga Bunga people because Unga Bunga caveman style, 100%. But all these new places have their own, like, the new recipes. There's new things you can pick up, new armor, new weapons, especially with the grey ones, so that funky looking faction with the new people in it. Chests with loot in them, all sorts. So definitely be worth exploring all of these areas and seeing what more you can find here, because there's definitely a lot here. There's some scout reports around as well in multiple places, and places you can pick up things like arrows out of someone's back or something. It'll definitely be worth exploring, 100%, and it's definitely a very nice update to Sipta. It definitely needed something unique, kind of like this. So I'm glad they added it, and they've seemed to have pulled it off pretty well as well. I gotta say, I gotta give it to them. They've gone above and beyond for 2.4 for an update for Sipta. And I might end up changing my review on Sipta. Yeah, maybe when it releases. We'll see how it progresses. But it's definitely some really good updates coming here, and revitalizing a lot of the stuff. So good stuff coming. Anyways, that's going to be it for this update video. I hope you found it helpful. 2.4 should be coming out pretty soon by now. They even said on Twitter it's probably coming out pretty soon by now. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. I hope you are too. And thank you for watching. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!
I mean, it basically looks like a bondage harness. It does! What?